Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Mr. Brooks. This movie is directed by Bruce A. Evans and the movie stars Kevin Costner, Dane Cook, Demi Moore, and William Hurt. Mr. Brooks is the story of a man named Earl Brooks who is a thriving businessman. He has a good home life, and he's also a serial killer by the name of the Thumbprint Killer. After vowing to never kill again, he gives in to an urge one night, but he is seen by a witness. This person comes forward and says, "I'm not going to tell anyone what you did under the condition that you take me with you on your next murder. Show me what you know." So now Mr. Brooks has his potential apprentice in training, but he also has this determined detective on his trail. And what we get is a very interesting game of cat and mouse. When this movie first came out, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't exactly thrilled about it considering it was Kevin Costner, only because I'd only known him from Waterworld, Wyatt Earp, and Dances with Wolves, and a couple others. He always struck me as this actor, a lot like Greg Kinnear, who plays this character that's like always a do-gooder, He's like the everyman. So I went to this movie blind. I knew it was about, a serial killer, but I didn't know who the killer was. I didn't know anything about it. But after I left this movie, I was blown away. And having rewatched it, I still feel the same way, having noticed even more about it. This movie strikes you just like the movie Frailty or the first Saw movie did the first time I saw them. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a definite game changer. And here's why. Just like my previous review for The Gift, you have all these known actors and actresses, but they play against type. They play roles they're not used to playing, which adds to this movie. Kevin Costner gives probably one of the best performances of his entire career. This is my favorite movie of his. He plays Earl Brooks as this methodical killer, a man who always has a plan, who's always prepared for a murder and how to wrap up that murder and how to get away with things. He's incredible in this movie. He's very calm. He plays this character like he's been doing it for a long time. Kind of like how Ben Affleck played Batman in Batman vs. Superman. You can tell he's been at this for a long time. The way he carries himself, the way he speaks, the way he says things. He's very good in this movie. Now, I can't mention Kevin Costner without mentioning William Hurt. William Hurt probably steals this movie, only because he plays Earl Brooks's darker personality. Granted, Earl Brooks is already, kind of dark and messed up in the head, but William Hurt plays that voice that says, do it. Do it, Earl. He plays the devil on his shoulder. And the beauty of this movie is it's not like Kevin Costner plays two roles. He doesn't play Earl Brooks, the angel, and then Earl Brooks, the devil. No. That devil on his shoulder is played by a completely different actor. But the cool thing is, the actor does things on his own accord. Granted, William Hurt, as Marshall, as he's called, is always in the same vicinity as Mr. Brooks, so you never see, William Hurt like at the grocery store or whatever. He's always next to Brooks. He's inside Mr. Brooks. And there's scenes where they're in a car together and one starts laughing and then they both start laughing. Or, they both say things that mean the same thing because they're right here. They're thinking the same thing. But William Hurt plays this voice very cool. He chews gum. He disagrees with them. He plays them a lot like Taika Waititi did in Jojo Rabbit. How he played the imaginary Hitler. That's how William Hurt plays the imaginary character of Marshall. Dane Cook is also in this movie. I had only known him from his comedic stuff. But he plays a role here that's much like Adam Sandler in Reign Over Me. It's against type. It's a serious, dramatic role. Yeah, Dane Cook did stuff like Good Luck Chuck and Waiting and, My Ex-Girlfriend or whatever that movie was called. But here, he's serious. Not only that, he's believable. That's one thing I really enjoy about this film is the characters are believable. The things they say, the mannerisms, the actions they take. You believe they're real people. Demi Moore plays detective in this movie. And she's also really good. I'm used to seeing her in stuff where, she's very attractive. But here, she's a tough-as-nails detective. She's not a dirty cop or anything, but she plays a determined person who wants to catch the Thumbprint Killer, but also prove people wrong. The music in this film is also really good. It fits the tone and the mood of the story. This movie also does something really neat, where it introduces these events and these characters, all these little threads that you don't think will connect at all, but in the end they do. There's this game that's underfoot that you're unaware of. And this movie also has a very shocking ending. So, Mr. Brooks is well acted, the music is good. This is a movie that I would put up there right with Zodiac, where once you start watching it, you don't want to stop until it's over. It's really unfortunate that this movie never got a trilogy like it was planned to, because it would have been really good. Kevin Costner is great in this movie. So because everything is really good, and this is my favorite movie of 2007, I'm going to give Mr. Brooks an A. So until next time, guys, see ya.